Hey everybody, welcome to our second module on disabilities, impairments, and disorders. So now that we have this foundation of disability awareness, at some point in this course, right, we really need to narrow the focus in on specific disabilities. Now, this is where it's unique in terms of let's zoom out and consider the population of who we are, what we're trying to achieve in this course. We're not special educators, we're not physical therapists, we're not people in the context of this course, anyways, that we need to be experts in specific disabilities. So I say that in such that since we cannot become an expert in a 7 week summer course, that's okay, but it is important for us to at least hit the major disability labels in an effort to understand the demographic of the people we're trying to learn more about. So that being said, this module is going to do just that. So it is set up for us to understand 10 major groupings or 10 major labels of disability, everything from autism spectrum disorder to intellectual disabilities, learning disabilities, physical disabilities, and there's going to be 10 of those. And each disability label itself, what we hope to understand in this module, or we hope to build more knowledge upon, are the unique things about each one of those groupings. So the etological factors, right? So how might a person acquire this disability? Might it be congenital, right? Are they born with it? Might they acquire this impairment or disability through a life trauma, an accident, a fall, a car accident? Um, in a way, since disability impacts 20% of our population, each and every one of us, we have this ability to join one of these groups at any point during our life. Um, if there are contraindicated activities for the specific disability, we'll also talk about that. So contraindicated activities are basically things you would want to avoid if you had that specific disability. So um, if I was a person with Down syndrome, you apply it in like a gymnastics setting, I might really want to be wary or careful of putting pressure on the back of my neck, right? That's a contraindicated activity specific to that disability. If I was a person with spina bifida, right, and I would want to be very careful about, blunt trauma to the back of my back or my spine. So those are things that, they'll be phrased as contraindicated, but I don't want you all to think that that goes against our presumed competence lens, because we have to be careful with that. But at the same time, we also have to be aware about how to keep people safe. So the manner in which this module will work are there. Each disability grouping is paired with a PowerPoint resource and then video to go alongside it. So 2 points of facts here. One, the PowerPoints are dry. They're not dolled up. They are pretty to the point. It's intentional because I wanted to give you all the important resources without being overwhelming in terms of reading chapters upon chapters. That's why they're in PowerPoint format. Um, and then the second part of that, each one is paired with a video. The video, you're going to see some of the way in which media talks about people and people with disabilities and athletes. They're not always going to be correct. Some of those I put in there very intentionally is I want you to kind of start to be aware of that perspective, right? We've hopefully all agreed to this presumed competence lens. The first article in this module I want you to read is called People First Language. Um, and I'm very hopeful that now you all have that knowledge that you all can speak and write in that way moving forward. It's very important. It's something that you might have that glass shatter moment that you've been speaking in a certain way all your life, only to kind of know that perhaps that's not the most respectful of ways to speak. So consider things like this, right? You wouldn't want to say a person is brain damaged. The person has a brain injury. How often do you hear people talk about handicap parking? Well, it's actually accessible parking. I'm not confined to my wheelchair. I use my wheelchair for mobility. So it's amazing, the difference between the words lightning and lightning bug is pretty significant. So the one word makes quite a large difference. And then we're also going to start with our textbook this module as well. So enjoy the first case studies, and actually don't skip on the intro. I think you'll find that the language in which even just naming this textbook from all these experts and scholars and people who work with disability, it's amazing to me the path that they had taken to choose intentionally around the words in which what was important to them and also to the audience in which people might come across their text. So enjoy. Good luck on the quizzes, and I'll catch you next time.